Why do paid ads typically not work for creator-based businesses? This frustrates a lot of people, but there's actually a very, very good fundamental reason that your ads are not working and that you've killed your advertising and you've gone right back to that creating that made you successful in the first place. If you want to figure out why it is that paid ads seem to be so hard, then keep watching this video. In case you don't know me, my name is Olly Richards. I'm the founder of StoryLearning.com. I'm a mentor and advisor to online education businesses. But I've also successfully scaled my own business through paid ads. And so when I meet creators these days who are trying to do the same thing, I immediately see what the problem is. Now, for the sake of this video, let's assume a hypothetical YouTuber with a course business. This creator has this size audience, right? That's the complete size of their audience. Let's say, I don't know, whatever, 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And this is the subset of people who will actually buy anything from them. Let's say it's about 5%. So YouTubers' audience of this size, 5% of them will buy stuff from them, and this generates them about $1,000 a day in revenue. Pretty typical, I'd say. You can scale the numbers up or down, but that's kind of how it works. The dynamic of a creator-based business is you do some work to build a big audience. That might be quick, it might take a long time, whatever. You've got the audience, and then some subset of that audience will buy stuff from you. That is inherently what your business is. Now, what typically happens is a creator with this level of success wants to keep growing because it's in our genes to keep growing. Nobody's happy just staying still. Although if you learn to be happy staying still, it's actually a real cheat code. But typically we're not, right? We want to keep growing because the kind of level of perceived success that we thought we'd have at, say, 1 million subscribers doesn't feel like that in reality. You've now got costs, you've got salary, etc., etc. So creator decides to run Facebook ads to sell their course. Makes sense, right? If we can figure out how to sell our course profitably through ads, then we don't have to rely on YouTube anymore. Big fear, YouTube kills the algorithm, our business disappears overnight. A legitimate concern, by the way. And so we want to replace that traffic source with paid advertising. That's the journey that most people go through. So then you start to run Facebook ads and you say, right, I want to sell my magic courses through Facebook ads. Now here's that same segment of people who will buy, and there's that same output of $1,000 a day. Now, in order to get that $1,000 a day, you run Facebook ads to try and get that revenue. But there's a cost involved now because you don't have this big audience that you've built. So you now have to pay for these ads, and the cost to buy these ads from Facebook is, guess what? About $1,000 a day. Now, in reality, usually it's much more than this because people lose money from the beginning. But let's just say that it costs you $1,000 a day to produce $1,000 a day in revenue. Now, this is a problem because if you try to scale your business based on this, where's the profit coming from? In this model, it works because you've already paid for the audience, you're maintaining it yourself, so this can basically just go straight in your back pocket. In this model, it doesn't. There is no profit, and in reality, you're probably losing money because most people do at the beginning when they start to run ads. So you look at this and you think, this ain't looking so rosy anymore, something has to change. And so what typically happens here is that someone who is a creator, who just likes creating, this suddenly seems very, very hard, and so they pack it in and they go back to the YouTube, which is completely understandable. Either that, or they maybe start to hire a marketing team and hire an ads team, and they spend a couple of years trying to figure it out, but now they really start to spend a lot of money because you've got agencies that you're paying, you've got to spend money on ads, and after a couple of years it just feels very bruising and you think, what's the point? I could have just stuck with this model all along and just kept more of the money. But what's super important to understand is why this happens. Why is it that ads are so difficult? Well, let's think about the difference in dynamic and relationship between the creator model versus the ads model. When you start running ads, people don't like you. Why? Well, for a start, they're just scrolling away on Instagram or Facebook trying to pass some time on the train, and then up pop you. They don't know you. You're interrupting their activity. They're trying to watch cat videos and you're interrupting them. They don't trust you, and you're asking them to do something. I don't know about you, but usually when my day gets interrupted by someone I don't know or trust who's asking me to do something, I tell them to go take a long walk off a short pier. And this is most people's reaction to receiving your ad. It is very, very different from the audience you've built who know you, like you, trust you, understand the problem. If you've got a magic channel, like they have a problem. They need to get better at magic. That's why they're watching your channel. That's why they're subscribed to you. They know they have a problem already. But when you're interrupting someone scrolling cat videos on Facebook, they don't even know they have a problem that they can't do their card magic or whatever. So the entire disposition of the person that you are speaking to is changed. And by the way, if you enjoy this sort of content, you might like my case study. It's called Anatomy of a $10 million Online Education Business. It is 118 pages describing exactly how my business Story Learning runs. A lot of people seem to really like this. There's a lot of meat in there. It's completely free. You can get it by subscribing to my newsletter at ollyrichards.co. So now it's time for the tough love. Why is it that your product that you've poured your heart and soul into, that you know is great, that you know people get great results from, why is it that people who you're trying to target with Facebook ads don't want it? Here's the problem. When creators create products, they're creating those products for their own audience. If you've been building an audience for years, you're going to be intimately familiar with exactly what it is that that audience wants, what they struggle with, the particular problems that they have. And you're also going to be giving it your own unique spin, because as a creator, you're taught to be unique and individual. The problem is that in doing this, you are completely blind and ring-fenced from the wider marketplace. And the wider marketplace is a much more difficult place to do business. If you're selling language courses, for example, your audience may love this special way that you have of teaching with, I don't know, pens or something like that, and they get to know you and they follow you. And when you release a language course teaching with pens, it's a stupid example, but they're going to buy it because there's a symbiotic relationship there. But the wider marketplace is not the same person as your audience. They're not informed. They are not following. They haven't been following you, thinking about the problem for so long. And so the products that you've created are generally not suitable for the wider marketplace. And this is the source of the problem. You are competing against people who have built their products and services specifically to be palatable to the wider marketplace, meaning that they work to paid advertising. They've been optimized not to give your YouTube audience what they want, but to be bought by someone who doesn't know you, doesn't like you, doesn't trust you, but it's still going to buy your stuff because you've optimized it for that. In your ads, in your sales page copy, in your VSLs, on your order form, all of these things, you have now got to do all of this stuff to make up for the fact that the audience doesn't know you. You've got to somehow convey trust, so they trust you enough to buy from you. You've got to make them aware of the problem. They might not even know that they need to learn card magic. You've got to make sure they know they have a problem. You've got to make sure that they're aware of the solution that you have to offer, your product. You've got to give them a legitimate reason to act now. And this is one of the hardest things with digital products. Often there is no good reason to act now, so you have to manufacture it with things like urgency and scarcity. You've got to figure out optimal pricing. For your creative business, you can price in a million different ways, $100, $200, $300, $1,000. Your audience will buy because they like you, they know you, they trust you, they're aware of the integrity of your brand. But this cold audience on ads have no idea. So you've got to test pricing to figure out what is the correct pricing for this product to the wider marketplace. You've got to figure out how to maximize your AOV, because if you don't do that, you won't be able to get a return on your ads. You've got to make sure that the follow-up over email or retargeting is effective and gets those abandoned carts, etc., to come back and actually buy. And then you've got to have a product that delivers. And this is back to that same problem before. A product, you can create a substandard product for your creator audience, and it's still going to work because there's enough goodwill there, and maybe your audience knows enough about how your method works or whatever, that they won't cause a fuss and they won't refund. When you're building something that is suitable for a cold audience, you've got to make sure that your product actually delivers to people who are brand new at this. Let's go back to the language learning example. A lot of creators will create a language course using their method, and it's something that their audience is familiar with. But if you're trying to sell a French course to someone on a Facebook ad who's maybe never learned French before and is completely unaware of even the fundamentals of how to learn a language, you better make sure that your course is really bite-sized, really beginner-friendly, and really goes the extra mile to explain stuff that you would probably think is over the top and patronizing and demeaning. But this new person who's finding you on Facebook ads, who's never learned a language before, needs this kind of hand-holding, because if not, what's going to happen? They're going to buy the course, they're going to try it, it's not going to work, and they're going to refund. So what we've got here, the picture that I'm trying to paint here, is you have to almost go back to ground zero, rebuild, reimagine your products from the beginning in order to be suitable for an audience that doesn't know, like, or trust you. But you've also got to develop the marketing skills necessary to do all of these things. And creators generally are not marketers. And serious companies who run direct response style advertising to cold audiences, they have teams of copywriters, of conversion rate optimization specialists, people who actually work on this exact stuff all day long, sometimes for months or years at a time, in order to get a product working to paid ads. This is why it's so difficult to run ads for your creative business. And you know, what I would love to be able to do here is to give you the solution. Oh, go just do this and your ads will work. If you really want the solution, then you have to develop these skills, which requires either you going off and really learning sales and marketing, or else be prepared to reinvest the profits that you are currently generating from your creative business into a CRO team or a marketing team or some kind of specialist group of people who can actually guide you through this and go through the process of testing and reinventing and reimagining your product and probably your whole business so that it can survive in the wider marketplace. If you found this video useful, please like it, please share it with someone who you think might like to hear it. And if you like this video, you should definitely check out this next video, because YouTube, I have it on good authority that you really like it.